श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ श्री सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। In our Sanatana Dharma, the focus is given in these two important jnanam. One is Dharma Jnanam and the other one is Atma Jnanam. All our objective knowledge comes into this particular aspect called Dharma Jnanam, where there is a clear indication of who is to do what and how. In the first stage of studentship, one comes to gain the knowledge of this Dharma Jnanam. And what is it meant for? It is meant for application in the second stage of life. The first stage is Brahmacharya, studentship, or rather, the first stage is studying, Brahmachari. And then, having thus gained the knowledge, he steps into the second stage called Grihastha. He becomes a Grihastha, where the knowledge gained is implemented, it is put into practice. And in this, at this stage, through implementation of the knowledge, through karma, what he gains is the Chitta Shuddhi, purification of the mind, which is very essential for him to move on to the next stage. This is Dharma Jnana, how he has to lead a dharmic life. And then he slips into the next stage, having gained the necessary purification of the mind. He moves into the next stage where he pursues Atma Jnanam. Dharma Jnanam is not the end, whereas Atma Jnana alone can lead one to the final stage, to the end. What is the end there? There is nothing more to gain. Once I gain the knowledge of my own true nature, which is Atman, and abide in that self, there is nothing more to achieve. There is nothing more to gain. That is the ultimate stage. Now, in the Sadhana Panchakam, Acharya started by saying, Vedaha Nityamadhiyatam. One has to study the Vedas daily. And that one pada indicates the Brahmacharya Ashrama. Tad Tadvuditam karma sushtu anushtiyatam, when it is said, it represents the second stage of life, which is grihastha. And in grihastha, tena, what is tena here? Yesterday I mentioned swadharma anushtanena. When was it done? In the second stage, grihastha, where one has to actually practice swadharma. And tena swadharma anushtanena ishasya vidhiyatam, offer it at the feet of the Lord. Bhavasukhe doshaha anusandhiyatam was said. Atmecha vyavasiyatam nijagrihat turnam vinirgamyatam. Now see, in the first shloka, papaugha paridhuyatam, the third pada, Bhavasukhe dosha anusandhiyatam, fourth pada, or fourth and fifth pada, all these represents the most important part of Chitta Shuddhi, where through the statement Papaugha Paridhuyatam, the Viveka Shakti of the individual is represented. Through Viveka, one comes to understand the importance of rejecting, renouncing all Papa Ogha. Yesterday we discussed. While this represents Viveka Shakti, Bhavasukhe doshaha anusandhiyatam indicates Vairagyam. What is Vairagyam here? When I see the limitations in the Bhavasukha, in the objective world, I come to see how important it is not to depend upon the external world. And therefore, by understanding the fact that I should not depend upon the external world, I give up that dependency in that external world. Please remember, I have to work with the world. I have to be with the world. I have to transact with the world for my day-to-day living. But I have a choice. What is the choice here? The choice is I do not depend upon the external world for my internal happiness. I transact for survival's sake, probably. At that stage, I have to work because I have to gain a living. In the grihastha, it becomes my duty to take care of the wife and children. Therefore, I have to function in the world outside, but at the same time, I don't have a dependency on the external world. How? I don't rest on the external factors for my inner joy. I can use it as a tool for a certain transactional purposes, but I did not depend on them. This non-dependency factor for my internal joy is renouncing the importance of all of them for my gain of joy, to be at peace. Therefore, do not rest in the external factors. Bhavasukhe doshaha anusandhiyatam. We also saw the different factors. Is it not? Then, Bhavasukhe doshaha anusandhiyatam atmecha vyavasiyatam. The first one is Viveka, second one is Vairagya, and here by Acharya saying atmecha vyavasiyatam, he indicates mumukshutvam. And what is mumukshutvam? Mumukshutvam is an irresistible desire to gain only Atma Vidya. We have been desiring for the external objects earlier, but then now, having understood the limitations of the external objective world, I seek within. I no more depend upon them. I no more want them for my happiness, because I know happiness is within me. Nay, I am happiness. Even though I am told by the Shastras that I am happiness itself, I am unable to experience, therefore, seeking that happiness, I renounce the dependency on the world and start looking within, where Atma Ichcha Vyavasiyata, constantly work towards Atma Jnanam. And up to this, the seeker is in the second stage. And here he moves forward to the third stage. What is the third stage here? Third stage is Vanaprasthashrama. He moves into the Vanaprasthashrama seeking Atma Vidya because he no more has any desire for the worldly existence, and the karma which he has to perform there has given the results. How? Through Chitta Shuddhi, and because of the Chitta Shuddhi, the mind no more wants anything else. Mind has turned within. And Chitta Shuddhi is meant for that. Otherwise, what is the purpose? If Chitta Shuddhi does not turn you towards your own inner being, then it has not happened. If the mind turns towards inside, that means Chitta Shuddhi has taken place, and therefore karma has done its job and no more karma is required. Therefore, one steps into the next stage of life, and therefore Nijagrihat Turnam Vinirgamyatam. Nijagrihat, yesterday we discussed, Turnam Vinirgamyatam, get out of the real home immediately. It doesn't mean the physical home, it actually means that I have moved out of that particular stage of life, where I need to move out of the Grihastha Ashrama Anubhava and step into the next stage called Vanaprastha Ashrama, where sadhana is very, very important. Here, Upasana is primarily prescribed. What is Upasana here? Upasana is again quietening the mind and channelizing the mind in the form of puja, etc. and meditation. What is meditation? Reflection, contemplation. This mind, which has been involved into various types of karma action, now when it is giving up the action, please note, when I am used to action and now when I am going to give up action, that mind requires another set of activity, otherwise it will step backwards. Having withdrawn the mind, it must be applied in the relevant field. And here relevant field is Atmecha Vyavasiyatam Nijagrahat Turnam Vinirgamyatam. And what do I do after that? Upasana. Upasanam. What is Upasana here? I go closer towards the thought of one, Bhagavan, and two, who is very much within me. Thereby, Acharya has now taken up the next stage of human life called Vanaprasthashrama, which is continued in the second shloka, which we will read. Probably, we will read the first shloka and then we will read the second shloka and proceed further. Please be with me here. Vedo nityamadhiyatam taduditam karma swanushtiyatam teneshasya vidhiyatam apachitihi kamye matistyajyatam papaugha paridhuyatam bhavasukhe दोषोऽनुसन्धीयताम् आत्मेच्छा व्यवसीयताम् निजगृहात् तूर्णं विनिर्गम्यताम् सङ्गस्सत्सु विधीयताम् भगवतो भक्तिर्दृढाधीयताम् शान्त्यादिः परिचीयताम् दृढतरम् कर्माशु सन्त्यज्यताम् सद्विद्वानुपसृप्यताम् प्रतिदिनं तत्पादुकासेव्यताम् ब्रह्मैकाक्षरमर्थ्यताम् श्रुतिशिरो वाक्यं समाकर्ण्यताम्. The second shloka we will again read. Sangasatsu vidhiyatam bhagavato bhaktirdridhadhiyatam shantyadif parichiyatam dridhataram karmashu santyajyatam sadvidvanupasripyatam pratidinam तत्पादुकासेव्यताम् ब्रह्मैकाक्षरमर्थ्यताम् श्रुतिशिरो वाक्यं समाकर्ण्यताम्. What should that mind do? Sangaha satsu vidhiyatam. The mind must associate with, contact with what? Sangaha satsu. Sat here represents truth, meaning it must seek the Atman within. Another meaning is association of the mind is primarily important for every sadhaka. In fact, the very quality and texture of thoughts of a sadhaka depends upon his association. There is a very beautiful statement. Swami Vivekananda ji has said, "Show me who your friends are, I will tell you who you are." Our association defines actually the quality of our thinking. The quality and texture of our thinking must be upgraded. Upgraded meaning what? It must have that quality where I move into the next stage and I associate myself with, not with the regular karma oriented people, but those people who are jnanam oriented. When I say jnanam oriented, meaning what? It is jignasu and mumukshu. Who is a jignasu? Jignasu is the one who is desirous of jnanam. He has no other desire. How do you say? Because all that is over in the second stage. In the second stage, desire for wealth, position, name, fame, everything is over. He has graduated from that stage already. Therefore, having thus graduated, he has to now seek association of Jignasu and Mumukshu. He must be in companion with those who are desirous of Jnanam, Atma-Jnanam. Now see, it's a very important factor. All of us have been living such a life. In case, let us suppose, for example, I am desirous of cricket, let us say. Whom will I seek? Whom will I search for being my friends? People who are again desirous of cricket. Those who has cricket as their desire, I will search for such people and become friends with that people. Is it not? Let us say another woman or a girl who has got desire, who is desirous of dance. She will associate herself with friends who are also dance oriented. Think. Similarly. And whenever they meet, what do they talk? Person who is interested in cricket will not talk about politics or anything, but if I meet another person who is also interested in cricket, naturally my subject matter of discussion will be cricket. And when she is meeting with her dance friends, they will not talk about cooking. Why? Both of them have similar interests. When we have similar interests, our subject matter of thinking will also be similar. Now here is a person who has moved out of that second stage, and now his association, when it is with satsangis. Now think, satsanga is very important. When satsangis meet together, what will they talk? Satsangatve nissangatvam. Nissangatve nirmohatvam. Nirmohatve nischalatatvam. Nischalatatve jivan mukti. When my association with the jignasus, jnanis, mumukshus come together, my subject matter will no more be any of the worldly matters. It will obviously be on the subject matter of Atma-Jnanam alone. And mind, for what it is, will constantly move towards that associations. Therefore, Satsanga is very, very important. Satsanga, Satpurusha, Satchintana, Satkathana, Satkarya, Sadbhavana. All these are for what? For the mind to associate itself and move forward in that particular direction. Think. Therefore, Vanaprastha ashrama is meant for what? Towards associating oneself with that Atma-Jnana alone by withdrawing the mind. Withdrawing the mind from where? Again, all the karmas, what it has been doing earlier, that stage is over. Withdraw the mind from that karma and associate the mind into the thought of Jnanam, Atma-Jnanam. Invariably, we will find such people, while they are thinking of Atma-Jnana, there is another very beautiful set of things which comes in association with this, which is very, very, very encouraging and promoting. And they are the Yoga Sutras. The Ashtanga Yoga, which is prescribed by Patanjali, brings in wonderful similar thoughts. And what are the Ashtanga Yogas? What does it say? Yama, Niyama. We were talking about it earlier also. In the introduction, we had made and mentioned do's and don'ts. Yes? That Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Ashtanga Yoga prescribes this. Do's and don'ts integrate the action of a personality. What are they? Yama and Niyama. Should do, should not do. Must do, must not do. These things brings in the integration of the action of a personality, actions of the personality. Asana is bringing the integration of the body. We will normally find the body cannot stay put. I would always give the example of why in a meeting they would give a scribbling pad and a pen. Initially I never knew. When I was in the Purvashram working there, whenever they give the scribbling pad and pen, I used to wonder, why do they give this pad and pen? What is the need? Unnecessarily expenses. But later I found, the moment the scribbling pad and pen is with me, and I've seen it with almost every colleague, they immediately remove the pen and start scribbling something, writing something, drawing something. Why? Because of the restless mind. I am sure all of you must have noticed, whenever you sit in a lawn, what does the hands do? Do you sit quietly? No. Start pulling the blade of grass. Is it not? Why? Restless mind. This physical posture, the integration of the body is very, very important, because the body's movement represent the restlessness of the mind. When the mind is quiet, when the mind is well integrated, when the body is well integrated, there will not be unnecessary movement of the body. This we can see, especially in lecture halls, when the talks are going on, you can see actually people sitting in. There are people who will not even sometimes move their eyelids. They are completely focused or completely off. Either way. But you will always find people who are shaking their leg, scratching the nose, or completely looking at others, looking at the time. All these are expressions of non-integration of the body. Therefore, asana, the third aspect of it, is very important for a sadhaka. Fourth one is integration of the pranas. In the Yoga Sutra, pranayama is very, very, very important, because the discipline in the prana disciplines the thought of the mind. These are all not just statements. It is a fact. Whenever the mind is restless, then the Acharya say, start breathing. Slow breathing. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. When these pranas are disciplined, internally mind also gets disciplined. When the pranas get integrated, mind also gets the focus. Think. Pratyahara. What is pratyahara? The fifth one. integration of senses and sense organs. Senses and sense organs are to be integrated because it is basically through senses and sense organs the mind gets distracted. Think. One simple example. When we are sitting for puja, and incidentally, very many times I have tried to think and try to get an answer. Why is it that the puja room in many houses are adjacent to the kitchen or in kitchen itself in many cases? Now these days there is nothing called puja room, because you give one corner of the kitchen, from there itself you can do Naivedyam. Why you are doing puja? Let us suppose one of the members of the family prepares nice coffee and the aura of the coffee reaches you. What is your condition? You may be doing the puja, you may probably be doing the archana also, but the mind for a fraction of a second or by fraction of a second, for some time itself, mind thinks of the coffee. Oh, let me finish my puja fast so that I can have that fresh coffee. Is it not? How did this distraction come from? From where did it come? Coffee. Coffee did not distract me. It is my senses through which I gained that smell of the coffee and I volunteered to get distracted. Is it not? Think. Therefore, pratyahara here is integration of the senses and sense organs through which I gain that stability where no power on earth can ever give me that distraction. They cannot distract me. If at all I get distracted, it is only because I volunteer. And the sixth one is dharana. What is dharana? Having integrated my actions, my body, my pranas, my senses, having integrated, the mind is withdrawn from wherever it is running through, and that withdrawn mind is retained. It is restrained from again going away. This aspect of retaining the withdrawn mind is dharana, that ability to hold on. And the next one is what? Dhyana. Having thus held with the mind, bringing the mind back, you can't hold the mind for a longer period of time. Because the very nature of the mind is chanchala. Asthirata is its nature. So unless you give an appropriate work to the mind will again get distracted. So what do? Dhyanam. Dhyanam here is focusing the mind. The withdrawn mind is channelized on contemplation, reflection of what? Not the vastus in the world, not the materials of the world, but the jnanam, what I have gained, the atma jnanam for which I am here for. I withdraw, focus, hold on to only that thought of atma jnana and not get distracted. This is dhyana. And finally, rest, that restless mind in the form of samadhi. Now samadhi has got different meaning also, we must understand it properly. Samadhi, one samadhi which we know is Ramnam Satya. We are not talking of that samadhi. Samadhihi. What does it mean? It means the the mind is no more distracted, no more confused, no more disturbed, not going anywhere. The mind, having understood the Atma Vidya, remains, abides into that very inner self, and there the mind, in fact, samadhi, when we say, it is equivalent to saying amanaha. What is amanaha? Where there is no mind. Now see, Atma Jnanam must lead me to the experience of the Ashtanga Yoga. The moment people say yoga, people get a little, you understand better. Now see, Sangaha Satsu Vidhiyatam. And then what do? Bhagavataha Bhaktihi Dridhadiyatam. Now, having associated with Satpurusha, Satchintana, Satkarya, Sadbhavana, what do? I channelize my mind through those associations. What do I channelize? Where do I channelize the mind? Channelize it towards the higher self. And improve my attention, improve my thought pattern, improve or increase my thinking of Bhagavan. That alone can give us the ultimate goal. Therefore, Bhaktihi Dridhadiyatam. Make it firm. Isn't it true? Our bhakti has no dridhata in it. I remember one song, Dridhata nahi nahi re. There is no dridhata in our bhakti. All of us are great devotees, we think. Now see. When we claim that we are devotees, why do we claim so? Because everything is fine. No. Very often we come to experience that the faith, in fact, honestly speaking, it is not faith. What we actually have is belief. We have belief in Bhagavan. But faith is a little very stronger, it's a little higher. Believing that there is a Bhagavan can very soon take us to non-believing in that Bhagavan. How many times we have belief in a particular person? Then that belief gets toppled down in some stray incidents. But faith is not like that. Faith is when that belief which I had in Bhagavan, when it transforms into faith. Faith meaning what? Faith is I have trust. In belief there is no trust. Whereas in faith, I come to see the truth in it. And when I come to see the truth in it, the belief graduates, fructifies into faith. That is why, it is said, Shastreshu, Guru Vakyeshu, Satya Buddhi Avadharana. We will come to that in our next pada. When we have complete faith in Bhagavan, frankly speaking, there must not be any kind of fear. If there is fear, then it is only belief and not faith. Yesterday, Hanuman Jayanti. And in Hanuman Jayanti, what did we chant? तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना. You are there to protect me. You are the protector. Therefore, why should I fear? We are no doubt devotees of Bhagavan. We no doubt believe in Bhagavan, but we have our own fear. Oh, what will happen to me? What will happen if such thing happens? If he comes, what will happen to me? If that person goes away, what will happen to me? Meaning, we have no fear. We have no faith. It is only a belief. And what is it then? It is one big Natak company. Our puja, punaskara, etc. Becomes a Nataka if it has no faith. And when we have faith in Bhagavan, there is no question of fear. Think. If there is fear, that means I have no trust in Bhagavan. If I have trust in Bhagavan, yad yad bhavyam bhavatu bhagavan purva karmanurupam. Let anything happen, I have no problem. Why? Tumhara chak kaam ko darna. If this faith is made firm, then where is the question of worry? Where is the question of fear? Where is the question of losing anything or have to gain something? Nothing is required. Thus, when I move from belief to faith, my trust in Bhagavan becomes firm. Bhagavataha bhaktihi dridhadiyatam. This bhakti is what? Nothing but faith. Bhakti is not applying one big vibhuti or nama or one full stop, because all of them are not a company only. We apply this and then we decorate it. Is it not? We apply this and we are doubtful whether it is V nama, U nama, Y nama, Y nama, or full stop like me. Think. This cannot make it a bhakti, that you are a bhakta. You know, if I may be permitted to use this, there is a beautiful phrase in our Tamil language. Talaila motta. You understand? Motta means what? Clean shaven. Nettila patta. Either horizontal or vertical. Kaluthila kotta. I don't wear. Rudraksha mala, big size. Kavi chatta. Kavi chatta means what? Saffron robe. Kalila katta. Wooden padukas. If this alone makes you a bhakta, tomorrow we can supply. Think. Bhakti is when I have unwavering trust in Bhagavan. And when I have unwavering trust in Bhagavan, He takes care. He alone takes care. Is it? Many parents feel, Swamiji, I thought my son will take care of me in my old age. Who takes care of whom? He alone takes care, He alone can take care, and He alone will take care. If this is clear, our dependency must be only on Bhagavan, not on the sons or daughters. Sometimes daughters are better. Think. Therefore, in this case, Bhagavataha bhaktihi dridhadiyatam is when I have complete trust in Bhagavan and I no more have any kind of dependency on the external factors. Think or being. Unless this firm faith comes into me, I cannot progress in my path of sadhana. Upasana becomes a mere ritual when I have not had any trust in Bhagavan. Upasana gains meaning. Upasana gains strength only when I trust Bhagavan to the completeness of it. Right? Up to this, Acharya talks, and the next pada again is a very, very, very important factor. What is that? Shantyadi parichiyatam. What is Shantyadi parichiyatam? It refers to Shamadi Shatka Sampatti, it is said. What are they? Shama, Dama, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana. All the six put together is called Shama Adi Shatka Sampatti. Shatka, six, a group of six. Sampatti, greatest wealth required for a sadhaka. What are they? Shama. What is Shama? Thought discipline. Some words appear very scary, but they communicate properly. Thought discipline meaning what? A complete control of my quality and texture of thoughts. Very many times, we ourselves are aware that the quality of thoughts have changed from being good to bad or indifferent. Don't we know? Aren't we aware? We are. We are aware, yet born out of the old habits, mind runs towards the objects of our pleasure. Think. This is because the thought pattern is not being disciplined. Therefore, Shama is what? Complete control of the mind, discipline of the thoughts. In fact, earlier in one of the sessions I had mentioned, what is it? Self-control. What is self-control? Moderation in everything, including moderation. Therefore, when I say control the mind, do you want food? No. You want? No. You rejecting? No. It is not rejecting the basic requirements for survival. No. The needs need not be rejected. But the problem is to discipline the mind from want. Problem is not with the needs. Problem is always with the want. And therefore, while having thought discipline, I must also develop what is called discipline of my organs. Damaha. Shamaha, thought discipline. Damaha, sense discipline. Senses discipline. Discipline of my senses and sense organs. Damaha. It is actually speaking, it is easier to discipline the senses and sense organs. Comparatively. Again, easier when I mean it is not that easy. Comparatively easier than Shamaha. But Shamaha can be accomplished only when we have accomplished Dhamma. In fact, they are complementary to each other. You gain the discipline of the senses, then you can easily gain the discipline of the mind, of the thoughts. You gain the discipline of the thoughts, the senses also fall into line. So, Shama and Dhamma are complementary to each other. And both of them are very, very important, or primarily important to achieve any success in the field of sadhana. Shama, Dhamma. Next one is Titiksha, Uparama. What is Uparama? Withdrawal of the mind and holding the mind. Holding the mind meaning what? That mind which has been withdrawn, retaining that mind for a better purpose. Earlier, what was the mind? Mind was going into all the senses and sense objects of the world and getting lost into it, getting caught into it, and finally, Swamiji, mind is so disturbing, always there is pain. Who volunteered? Neighbor? Parents? Have you ever seen any parent asking the son, come here, now sit down. There is a cinema going on. Concentrate. Watch carefully. No. If the father sits, children will come and sit down. When they sit down to see a cinema or probably a cricket or something, you don't have to tell them to be concentrated. Why? It is a desired object, where concentration need not be taught. Whereas, to withdraw the mind from those pleasures of the world and sit down for a puja, for example, then you have to tell, focus, think of the Lord only, don't think of other things. With all Shraddha Bhakti, perform puja. It has to be told. Now the mind which has been withdrawn, to hold that mind is so difficult. This holding the mind without letting it go, restraining the mind without letting it get lost, is Uparama. The fifth one is Titiksha. What is Titiksha? Titiksha is forbearance. What is forbearance? Enduring the pinpricks of the world. Gita says, Sukha dukkhe same kritva labha labhau jaya jayo tato yuddhaya yujyasva naivam papam avapsasi. Sukha dukkhe same kritva, sukha, dukkha, labha, nashta, ninda, stuti, mana, apamana. This is life. There is no life without pairs of opposites. When sukha comes, we are elated, we jump, we clap, we share. When dukkha comes, we corner ourselves somewhere and go on crying, Swamiji, you know what happened? Why should Swamiji or anybody else know? Think. When sukha, dukkha comes, same kritva. Why sama kritva? That which has come must go. Agama apayinaha anityaha. Nothing is permanent. Think. Being good need not be permanent. Being bad need not be permanent. Both are impermanent. Being alone is permanent. Think. So, when life gifts us with sukha, dukkha, labha, nashta, Ninda, Stuti, accept it with a smile. When it goes, wave with a smile. You have come? Come. You are going? Oh, you are going? Thank you. With that attitude in mind, when I accept things as they are and do not allow my mind to get distracted, this ability to endure anything and everything in life and not get distracted is called titiksha. Then the fifth one is called shraddha, faith. This we have discussed elaborately. Faith meaning what? Having total trust in the Shastra and the teacher. Shastreshu Guru Vakyeshu Satya Buddhi Avadharana Sa Shraddha. Shastreshu, one must have trust in the Shastra. Today, Shastra, when we say, the moment it is said, people, oh, start Shastra. Guru, you will see so much. And people think to going to an ashram, going to a Swamiji, these are all not a common man. True. To go to the scriptures or to go to a guru, it is not common. It is special. How? With trust, with faith. Shastra is the real manual for maintenance of what? Of ourselves. Self-management. To learn, one must go to Shastra. Think. This faith in the Shastra and the trust in the words of the teacher, unless these two are there, we are lost. Once we have this trust and faith in Shastra and the teacher and the words of the teacher, once we have the faith, we are in the right track. Therefore, Shraddha. And the last one in the Shatka Sampati is Samadhanam. What is Samadhanam? Having faith in the teacher, having withdrawn the mind from the externalities of the world, holding the mind for the sake of learning Atma Vidya with total discipline of the senses and the mind focusing towards Atma Vidya is called Samadhanam. Concentration, focus, Ekagrata Chintana. This is very, very important for every sadhaka to gain the Atma-vidya. Atma-vidya is not so easy. Objective knowledge is actually easier. Objective knowledge is very easy, unlike Atma-vidya. Why? Objective knowledge is knowledge of objects. Every object has a specific nature. Gaining that knowledge of the specific nature, you have got the knowledge of the object. There, you are not the subject. Object is the subject. In Atma Vidya, you yourself are the subject. Think. And you yourself are the object also. Object of knowledge is the very subject of knowledge. Therefore, to gain that knowledge of that subjective nature, you must be highly alert and vigilant. Therefore, Samadhanam, non-wavering mind, is very important for a sadhaka. Now, before I conclude for the day, if you consciously look, Shama, Dhamma, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhanam. All these 6 are equally important even in your objective world. Think. Without a proper control of the mind, you cannot achieve anything in the world outside. Unless you have certain discipline of your senses, all your concentration will just get, drained away. And when the concentration on the mind is getting drained away, when you no more have any focus of the mind, what can we achieve in this world? Without trusting your teacher, how can you ever gain even the objective knowledge of the objective world? So for anything and everything you want, these are extremely important. Think. Therefore, Shantyadi Parichiyatam. With this, again, Acharya has completed the 3rd stage of life. That is, Vanaprastha gets completed here. The next pada, Dridhataram Karmashu Santyajyatam, is referred to those who have gained the mastery of their mind, and after that one steps into the final stage, which is Sannyasa. This we will discuss tomorrow. We had declared 1.5 hours talk earlier, but listening to an online talk for 1.5 hours for a common person like you and me is not that easy. Therefore, we reduced it to 1 hour. That means what? The time has reduced. So, we will try to finish it in the next 3 days. If not, then we may extend it by a day or 2. In any case, up to April 14th, you have nothing to do. So, in case of requirement, I will increase by 2 days. Please cooperate. Thank you. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.